Good evening, visitors. Welcome to the Australian War Memorial's last post ceremony. My name is Troy Clayton, and joining us today from the Royal Australian Navy is Warrant Officer Cherie Thays. We welcome the veterans who have served, those that are still serving, and the families that love and support them. The live stream of this ceremony is made possible by the Return and Services League of Australia and the RSL and Services Club Association. We welcome members who are watching the broadcast of this ceremony across Australia. During this evening's ceremony, wreaths will be laid at the base of the Pool of Reflection by visitors to the memorial. If you're able, please stand and join in singing the National Anthem.
Australians, oh, let us rejoice, for we are one and free. With golden soil and wealth for toil, our home is got by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty, rich and rare. In history's page, let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains, then let us sing, advance Australia fair.
Thank you. If you're able, you may be seated. The Australian War Memorial was the vision of Charles Bean, Australia's First World War official historian. Bean landed with the Australian troops on Gallipoli and stayed with them at the front through to the end of the war. The idea of this national memorial and museum came to him at Pozières, France, in the depths of the bloody fighting of 1916. Bean's idea was that this would be a place where families and friends could mourn their loved ones buried in faraway places. It would also be a place that could help all Australians understand what these men and women had endured and what they had done for us. Bean's vision, to which we remain true, is best expressed as inscribed in the entrance to the memorial's galleries. Here is their spirit, in the heart of the land they loved, and here we guard the record which they themselves made. Tonight, we'll read the story behind just one of those on the Roll of Honour, which lists the names of more than 103,000 men and women who have given their lives for us in war and on operations for more than a century. But first, we present a lament, Flowers of the Forest. Wreaths or floral tributes will now be laid at the base of the Pool of Reflection.
Today we remember and pay tribute to Lance Corporal Percy George Scroop. Percy Scroop was born on the 9th of October 1893 at Clarendon in the Coromandel Valley in South Australia. He was one of 11 children born to James and Mary Scroop. During Percy's childhood, the family remained at the Coromandel Valley, where he attended the Cherry Gardens Public School. After finishing school, Percy found work as a sawyer in the region. Percy enlisted in the Australian Imperial Force on the 18th of August 1915 in Adelaide. He was assigned to the 9th Light Horse Regiment in the rank of trooper and commenced initial training. Exactly 3 months after enlisting, on the 18th of November 1915, Percy left Adelaide in HMAT Geelong. He arrived at Alexandria in Egypt in late December and was taken on strength of the 9th Light Horse Regiment on the 28th of December. In early 1916, as part of the reorganisation of the Australian forces following the Gallipoli campaign, the 9th Light Horse Regiment joined the Anzac Mounted Division. In early March 1916, the regiment left camp outside Cairo and joined the forces defending the Suez Canal from the Ottoman drive across the Sinai Desert. On the 27th of March, Percy was promoted to the rank of Lance Corporal. He remained with the Light Horse around the Suez Canal throughout the first half of 1916, participating in patrols and minor skirmishes with the Ottomans. In early August 1916, the British and Dominion forces succeeded in halting the Ottoman advance at Romani and began to push the enemy forces back to the desert into Palestine. Although the Light Horse did not participate in the Battle of Romani, they were involved in the advance that followed the Ottoman retreat immediately afterwards. 4 days after the Battle of Romani, the 9th Light Horse was involved in an Ottoman attack around Katia. By the end of the day, the regiment had suffered 18 casualties. Percy and 3 other men were taken prisoner by the Ottomans during the fighting. They were taken from the Canal Zone in Egypt to Afyonkara Hisar, the main Ottoman prisoner of war camp in Turkey. By October 1916, Percy had been transferred from Afyonkara Hisar to Angora in central Turkey. While at Angora, Percy fell ill with dysentery and was admitted to hospital. Exactly a year after he had arrived in Egypt for war service, on the 28th of December 1916, Lance Corporal Percy George Scroop died of dysentery at hospital in Angora. He was 23 years old. Percy's body was originally buried at the Catholic cemetery in Angora by his Ottoman captors. As was common with many prisoner of war graves across the Ottoman Empire, his grave was unmarked. In the late 1920s, the graves of prisoners of war at Angora Cemetery were exhumed and reinterred at Baghdad Northgate Wall Cemetery. Due to the difficulty of identifying his remains, Percy's headstone in the cemetery reads, "Buried near this spot." His name is also listed on the Roll of Honour on my right, among almost 62,000 Australians who died while serving in the First World War. His photograph is displayed today by the Pool of Reflection. This is but one of many stories of service and sacrifice told here at the Australian War Memorial. We now remember Lance Corporal Percy George Scroop, who gave his life for us, for our freedoms, and in the hope for a better world.
Please stand for the reading of the Ode and the sounding of the last post.
They shall grow not old as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them.
We'll remember them.
Lest we forget.
Lest we forget. We leave you this evening with the words of the memorial's founder, Charles Bean. Many a man lying out there at Pozières or in the low scrub of Gallipoli with his poor, tired senses barely working through the fever of his brain has thought in his last moments, well, it's over. But in Australia, they will be proud of this. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, that concludes the last post ceremony. On behalf of the director, staff and volunteers, thank you for visiting the Australian War Memorial today and for your continued support during the memorial's development project. We wish you all a very pleasant evening. Thank you.